Hey guys, Crestliner Pro Staff Josh Olson, and I'm going to talk to you about your setup for glide baits and kind of how I present them. Bear with me, I can't be on the water, so I'm going to be showing you this here outside. Setup, I use a 6'6" medium fast action Fenwick HMG. I prefer this rod setup because you see here it's got just a stout handle, and that handle allows you to put it right into your forearm like this here, because as the day goes on you're going to be ripping and ripping and ripping. Well, you can just kind of make that rod as part of your forearm and just start ripping like this when you get tired, instead of having to do everything, you know, with your wrist all day. For reels, I just have a Fluger Purist. You can use a President. I would recommend right in the dead center size. You want to be able to pick up line fast when you get bit, and you want to have line capacity to be able to, you know, hold plenty of line when you're getting down there 60 feet. Now, line wise, I use Berkeley Fireline metered. Now this is important. I don't know if you can see in this video or not, but this line changes color every 10 feet. So out here where I live, we're doing a lot of suspended fishing. You know, say we're fishing a pillar, and that pillar is 120 feet deep, and we find out that the fish are 60 feet down. Well, we can rip up, and when we get bit, you can look and go, okay, I was at this color, and then you can drop down and you can duplicate that, and then you can get right back where those school of fish is holding. So that metered line is really important. Some guys use mono. I choose the fire line. Just, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm full combat fishing. When one grabs it, I want to cross his eyes, and I want to be able to really lay the stink on him. There's nothing wrong with mono. You do have a lot of stretch. Some guys think you'll land more fish, and you know, they might be right. This is kind of how I do it, so I'm just sharing with you how I do it. Now I will attach it's actually a 14-pound fluorocarbon leader. I typically run it about 36 to 42 inches long with a barrel swivel on the end of it. Now that swivel is going to keep you from getting those twists in your line, because as you rip these baits up, they're going to spin in a circle. So it's imperative to get that little barrel swivel on the end of it to keep those twists off. Now I use that fluorocarbon leader because it's stiff. You know, when you're ripping these things up and they're dropping down to the bottom, you don't want limp line, because that limp line is going to tangle around your hooks. You're going to get down there, and then you're going to feel that it's a little bit different. You're going to reel up and you're going to be tangled up. So you need that fluorocarbon leader because it's nice and stiff, and it's going to keep you from getting tangled, and it's crystal clear. You know, often when you're fishing down real deep, that water's crystal clear, and you don't want those fish to be seeing your fire line. So you want to make sure to have that fluorocarbon leader. I just have a cross lock or a snap that I attach my baits to. And speaking of baits, I'm going to go through kind of what I use for baits. And first we'll start off with the snap wrap. It's right here, number 8. That's typically what I use. I use pretty much all big baits. Now, presentation with the snap wrap. This has a different presentation than the other baits I'm going to talk about, so we'll go through that. So the snap wrap, it's got a wider swath and it falls a little bit slower. So you're going to take a snap wrap typically, and you're going to, and I'm following it down. I'm giving it a hard rip up, and I'm following it down slow, because it's not going to fall fast. And sometimes I'll take it, let it fall, let it lay on the bottom. You'd be surprised how many fish that when you rip it up after it's been laying on the bottom, he pierced that bait to the bottom, and you rip up and he's there. So it's just a slower sweeping action. Now For a jigging wrap, again, big. This is a number 9. I don't use anything smaller than a number 9. It's a similar technique, except for this one's going to dart faster, and it's not going to have as big of a sweep. So, presentation, it's going to be faster. I'm going to go quicker. And with any of these, you know, occasionally you'll go way up, drop it down. Way up, drop down. 9 times out of 10 when you get bit, you're just ripping up. Fish is there. Okay? Now, third, shiver minnow. This one I typically cast. So, cast it out. Swing, swing, swing. You'll be reeling. I can't reel worth a dang. My hand's gone. And then hold. Wait for that line to go limp. Then it hits bottom. Then swing, reel, swing, reel, swing, reel, swing. Stop. Wait for it to go slack. Then swing, reel. And you know, one will pick it up. You can watch your line and you can typically see when one grabs it. So, you know, that's kind of how I run my glide style baits. One last thing is, if you're using fire line and you get bit, you got to make sure your net man is ready, because you're going to have one stab at him. You get that fish up to the top. If he runs, he's typically gone, so make sure to let your net man know what's going on when you get bit, and you'll probably land more fish. So I'm Josh Olson, and that's how I do jigging wraps.